Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating breakdown of Portugal's 2026 World Cup squad. The original analysis we're looking at today brought this incredible Hinglish energy, a really passionate mix of Hindi and English, and paired it with some seriously deep tactical insights into Roberto Martinez's choices. We are bringing that exact same analytical heat right now. We're looking at a squad absolutely stacked with talent, but man, it is also carrying some highly questionable selections. So let's just get straight into it.
6. Just let that number sink in for a second. We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo heading into a record-breaking 6th World Cup appearance. Now, you know the history. Before Ronaldo, Portugal often struggled to even qualify. The guy literally single-handedly completely transformed the trajectory of their football history. But here's the really crucial takeaway for 2026. Portugal isn't just relying on Ronaldo anymore. They've evolved. This squad is bursting with elite technical ballers, but as we all know, having the talent on paper and actually fitting it together, well, those are two very different things.
Let's start with Section 1, the defensive wall and their attacking firepower. Okay, so Roberto Martinez has put together a seriously deep and versatile defensive roster. At center back, you've got the absolute rock-solid leadership of Ruben Dias, the technical brilliance of Gonçalo Inácio, and Thomas Araújo, who is a fantastic, somewhat under-the-radar pick that fully deserves his spot. But honestly, the biggest tactical revelation the source highlighted here is Matheus Nunes. Think about how Nunes adapted to playing right back at Manchester City during their injury crisis. He provides this unbelievable balance between defense and attack with insane transition speed. The breakdown actually makes a really strong argument that Nunes should be starting over traditional right backs like Diogo Dalot or João Cancelo purely because of that selfless high work rate profile. It's a total game changer.
Now, before we look at the forwards, there's a really heartwarming detail in this squad list. Management officially released a 26+1 squad, and that +1? Diogo Jota. Even though he's ruled out with an injury, Martinez literally included his name as a transparent overlay on the announcement. It's such a cool tribute. Jota is highly technical, supremely intelligent, and despite his size, his dribbling makes him a giant on the pitch. The squad keeping him in their hearts like this really speaks volumes about the unity Martinez is trying to build behind the scenes.
All right, let's talk about the massive firepower up top. The attacking depth is off the charts. You've got Francisco Conceição ready to drop pure one-on-one unpredictability and magic. João Felix is there to perfectly slot into those inside half spaces, but the standout playmaker here is Trincão. The guy has a massive 31 goal contributions. That's 13 goals and 18 assists in 53 matches. Elite long shots, elite creativity. Now, on the flip side, the source material does point out some heavy frustrations regarding Rafael Leão. No one denies his blistering pace and world-class talent, but the breakdown heavily critiques his major consistency issues, a habit of dropping his work rate in big games, and some sloppy decision-making in the final third. So the talent is undeniable, but the actual application is under a microscope right now.
But it's not all perfect. Let's shift gears to Section 2 and look at the controversies and the shock snubs.
Look, for all the incredible talent on this roster, some of these selection choices have analysts completely scratching their heads. And the biggest head-scratcher starts all the way at the back with the goalkeepers. Martinez is bringing 4 goalkeepers. 4. Diego Costa's obviously your undisputed starter. Rui Silva and José Sá are fantastic backups, but a 4th, that is a highly unusual tactical decision. Almost every national team brings 3. Using that final precious roster spot on a guy who will almost certainly not see a single minute of pitch time feels like a massive wasted opportunity, especially when you see who got left at home.
And this is exactly who paid the price for that extra goalie, Roberto Fernandes. The source finds this omission absolutely baffling, and it's easy to see why. Fernandes has had a phenomenal campaign. He's an elite ball winner. He excels in progressive passes and winning duels. To put it in perspective, the data shows he ranks 5th in the entire Premier League for successful long passes, completing 118 of them. He breaks lines, he presses relentlessly, and he brings a massive physical presence. Dropping a dynamic 21-year-old midfielder who offers that much utility just so you can carry a 4th goalkeeper? The breakdown calls this the single biggest mistake of the entire selection.
And the defensive debates don't stop there. We have a massive dilemma at center back. Antonio Silva versus Renato Veiga. If you look purely at the stats, Antonio Silva absolutely dominates. He is a far superior progressive passer, which we know is crucial for playing out from the back. But he's had a really tough time lately. He suffered a big dip in form at Benfica and has been noticeably error-prone this season. On the flip side, you have Renato Veiga. His underlying stats might not be as flashy, but he's been in better recent form, and crucially, he convinced the manager during the national team camps. So it's that classic football debate, right? Do you trust the raw, long-term statistics, or do you ride with current form and reliability? Martinez went with form.
Which brings us to the biggest attacking snub of the whole squad. Let's compare Pedro Gonzalez to Gonçalo Guedes. Gonzalez played 40 matches, bagged 15 goals, and racked up 9 assists. That is 24 total goal contributions. He is a highly creative, super consistent playmaker. Guedes, on the other hand, has 17 total goal contributions. So Gonzalez has vastly superior numbers, yet Martinez selected Guedes. Now the logic is likely that Guedes is a more direct runner, he offers that raw pace in behind the defensive line, but losing the sheer, proven creative output of Pedro Gonzalez, that is a massive, massive talking point.
Okay, let's wrap this up by looking at Section 3, Tactics and Chemistry.
We know Roberto Martinez loves a possession-heavy 4-2-3-1 setup, but this system has some glaring vulnerabilities, specifically when transitioning into defense. To fix that, it all comes down to the midfield engine. You basically have two options. Ruben Neves is your elite in-possession playmaker. If you want line-breaking passes and gorgeous switches of play, he is your guy. But Portugal's glaring weakness is their off-the-ball work rate. They get cut open on the counterattack way too easily. Because of that, the source argues the tactical blueprint absolutely demands starting João Neves, nicknamed the Bulldog. João gives you elite pressing, insane energy, and the exact ball-winning grit needed to stop opposition counters before they even start. If you just rely on Ruben Neves, you are leaving that backline totally exposed.
But when Portugal gets it right going forward, it is absolutely terrifying. Let's look at how their 6-man attacking transition unfolds. It's like clockwork. Step 1. Matheus Nunes bombs down the right, completely stretching the width of the pitch. Step 2. That space allows Bernardo Silva to seamlessly tuck inside into the half space to orchestrate the play. Step 3. Way over on the opposite side, Rafael Leão hugs the left touchline, dragging defenders out wide with him. Step 4. That creates a massive, perfect channel for Nuno Mendes to make rapid, underlapping runs right into the box. Add in your central striker and a trailing midfielder, and suddenly you have 6 world-class players overloading the final third in literally seconds. When this clicks, there is no way opposing defenses can handle it. They will tear teams apart.
But having all this insane talent on paper and actually getting them to play as a cohesive unit, those are two entirely different challenges. And it all boils down to this final thought. Can Roberto Martinez truly manage this locker room? Think about the task here. He has to figure out how to rotate a 41-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo to avoid fatigue, all while keeping a squad full of massive egos and world-class superstars happy. Everyone wants to be the main character. You can't just cross the ball to Ronaldo and hope for the best anymore. Martinez needs a plan B, and he has to be willing to make the hard, ruthless decisions. So will this immense talent unite to lift the trophy, or will a lack of chemistry be their ultimate downfall? It's going to be absolutely fascinating to watch.